Did someone say a TBloom takeover? Hit it. What it do, my TBloomanites, aka my TBloomaholics, aka my favorite people in the world. That is, except your mom, of course. Just kidding. Just kidding. We like to have a little jokey joke on Mondays here at the TBloom headquarters. Speaking of which, recently just released some big news last night at around 10 p.m. Pacific time, just after midnight for you listeners on the other side of the Mississippi. The announcement being the official launch of the week-long TBloom Takeover campaign. And you may be asking yourself, what the fuck is a TBloom Takeover campaign? And I'm glad you asked. It's 5 days of content by yours truly, TBloom. Today, the TBloom Talk Show. And if you're listening right now, you've already checked off box one of the 5-leg gauntlet that is coming your way this week. Tuesday, tomorrow, I will be on Twitch live streaming from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. I think that's 12 to 3 a.m. for you Easterners over there. So make it happen because you're not going to want to miss out on this. Probably going to be a lot of Call of Duty with the boys. Could be some other games. I might even play some UFC in there. Who knows? We'll see. Just be there by 7 to 10 p.m. It's going to be a good time. Wednesday, it's going to be another TBloom Talk Show. This is going to be called Whatever Wednesday, and it's not going to be designated for any specific sport. It's going to be whatever comes to mind. It's going to be whatever I won't damn well pleased to talk about on Wednesday. Of course, it'll be sport related, but I might throw in a few curveballs to you. You have to tune in to find out. This Thursday is to be announced, so stay tuned and stick around to see what's going to be coming up Thursday. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I got a lot of thoughts, a lot of possibilities, but you're not going to want to miss out on Thursday. And then it is Food Review Friday, along with Fight Night Friday, which is a podcast, TBloom Talk Show podcast. And I have just received word and I have locked in JC Edwards again for another special guest episode of Fight Night Friday. We're going to give you all our takes on this upcoming UFC 273 event coming this Saturday. You're not going to want to miss out on that one either. Again, Food Review Friday. I'm going to be doing my first food review for you folks. I mean, sports and food go hand in hand. It's like Michael and Jackson or Ben and Roethlisberger. They go hand in hand. So I figured, why not give you folks a taste of my taste and give you a goddamn food review? Um, where does that leave us? Oh yes, and do not forget, if you want to stay up to date with TBloom and the TBloom Talk Show, follow me on Twitter at the TBloom Talk Show. That is TheTBloomTalkshow. And if for some reason you're over the age of 50 and you don't know how to use a mobile phone by now, follow me on Facebook at the exact same thing, The TBloom Talk Show. You don't want to miss out on any important news, updates, or any possible things in the work for us at the TBloom headquarters. That's going to do for my intro. Let's get right into the things today. We kind of got a lot to talk about. Um, or actually, not too much to talk about. Um, we're going to start off today and get right into it. What's the next step for LeBron James and the Lakers? As it stands right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are 2 games out of the play-in game, right behind San Antonio Spurs, let alone the playoffs. We're still unsure of LeBron's availability. He missed yesterday's game, and I don't know exactly his availability going into the Final Four stretch. I mean, even when he is playing, the Lakers aren't winning. I mean, yeah, the guy's putting up 30 something points a game, but they're also getting beat by 10, 15 points, and God knows Russ isn't helping anything. Um, yeah, so we're still unsure of LeBron's availability. Their last 4 games consist of the number 1 seed Suns, the number 3 seed Golden State Warriors, OKC, who is by the way a tough opponent. OKC just beat the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns, which I'm a little concerned about as a Suns fan going into the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. OKC's a tough opponent. They will not lay down. I consider that to be a tough game as well for the upcoming Los Angeles Lakers schedule. And then number 4, the 5th seed, the Denver Nuggets. Now, just because the Lakers aren't that good this year, and it's looking like they're not going to make the playoffs, I don't think for a second any of those teams are not going to want to smash and make sure LeBron James does not somehow ending up in that NBA playoff race. Because if he does somehow get in, that would be a hot Laker team, and you don't want to see a hot Laker team. You don't want to see any team with LeBron James on it coming in hot into the playoffs. So I think all those teams are going to make sure that they don't have to see it and pretty much just take care of business there. So the Lakers will probably be missing the playoffs this season. Assuming that, does this mean the end for LeBron James and the Lakers as a whole? I mean, even if this team was 100% healthy, let's say they were, I don't see them being much better than what they are right now. I mean, granted, if you did have Anthony Davis back, I think that bumps them up to a 6 seed tops. I don't see them coming into the top 5. I mean, the top 5, you got Denver at 5, the Grizzlies at 4, Golden State at 3. Oh no, the Grizzlies at 2, and then you got the Jazz at 4, that's right. Or Jazz at 3, Grizzlies at 2, Golden State at 3. I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. It's Monday. It's goddamn 7:53 a.m. It's pissing rain out right now in Washington. My brain's going to be a little cloudy, no pun intended. But you get my point. The Lakers aren't, as a full healthy team, they're not much of a threat anyway. Definitely not championship contenders, I don't think. And it begs the question, I mean, what does LeBron see his future being in Los Angeles? Because they're going to need to move Russell Westbrook. That's for damn sure. I think Russell Westbrook coming to the Lakers was probably the worst free agency acquisition maybe in league history. And this is for both parties. Don't think I'm just harping on Russ this whole time. Russell Westbrook coming to LA. Oh, how can I put this? Russell Westbrook and the Lakers, when they came together, the idea was that they both make each other better. They both do. They both be positive for their careers and for their franchises. It has been an absolute shit show. Russell Westbrook has been heckled more times and been called uh fucking so many names just on the Lakers by fans, critics since he came to LA than he ever has in his past. People are forgetting his MVP seasons. People are saying this guy is just trash. I may be one of them. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm just saying maybe he wasn't ever as good as we thought him out to be. Maybe those stats he was putting out were never as valuable as we thought them to be. And then you look at the Lakers side of things, them bringing in Russ. It wasn't a good fit from the start. And I told you guys this. Russell Westbrook and LeBron James on the same team does not make that much sense. Russell needs when Russell Westbrook is at his best, he has the ball in his hands. Okay? When LeBron James is at his best, he has the ball in his hands. Boom. Immediate crash. Immediate crash. Russell Westbrook the Lakers needed a guy who could spread the floor and shoot the three. Maybe 2 guys who could have done that. They probably could have got 2 decent guys who could have done, spread the floor, play the 3 and D for the price that they're paying Russell Westbrook to be the player that he is. Now, I'm not saying Russell Westbrook isn't a special player. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is it's not a good fit for the Lakers. He's not. And it's time we need to accept that. I think LeBron's already coming to terms with that. So back to the question: is LeBron and the Lakers done? I think so. I mean, where do you go? You gonna trade Russell Westbrook for someone, or who? You can't even trade Russell Westbrook. No one's willing to take the guy. Anthony Davis. Sure, let's say that. Okay, boom, Anthony Davis. That's a good piece. That's a good start. When he's on the floor, this guy gets injured every time he comes back. And that's not a knock on Anthony Davis. Some people just get injured. It happens. It's the game. People get older. Bones start to deteriorate. Muscles start to, deteriorate. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Deteriorate. Deteriorate. Help me out, TBloomaholics. I think LeBron's done. I think that LeBron and the Lakers are going to split ways this offseason unless something drastically changes, like maybe them getting Damian Lillard, but Damian won't come. You know where they fucked up? You know where they fucked up, guys? They fucked up by not signing either Bradley Beal or trading for him and not getting Chris Paul. Not going out and getting Chris Paul a couple years ago, 2 years ago. That's where they fucked up. Chris Paul and this team, they would have been had championships. They'd have rings galore by now. LeBron would be at his sixth. It wouldn't be a question whether he's better than Michael. It'd be a question about how much better he was than Michael. Take a sip of my Joe. So that's my take. I think the Lakers and LeBron James part ways this season. I mean, you tell me. Moving on, and okay, let's assume that the Lakers don't make the play-in game, right? That means that this leaves the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Pelicans, and the Spurs for the play-in teams. I think the Spurs have a chance, a solid chance, and I actually think they will. This is my hot take for the day. I think the Spurs will sneak into that 8th seed. There, I said it. I said it. I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to sneak into the playoffs and be that 8th seed and be taken out by the Phoenix Suns first round, obviously, but they will sneak in. Here's why. Greg Popovich, one of the greatest coaches to ever do it. I mean, as you guys know, I'm big on experience, especially in the coaching department. Greg Popovich has seen it all and done it all, and this team is young, headed by DeJounte Murray. Shout out Tacoma. And I think that they got what it takes to, to beat the Clippers. Or let's see, they're going to have to play the Pelicans. They'll beat the Pelicans. Don't worry about the Pelicans. Pelicans aren't much. Then they're probably going to have to take on the Clippers. And I think the Spurs can beat the Clippers. I mean, how are the Clippers even in the playoffs? How is this LA team better than the other LA team, the Lakers? I mean, it is a bad year for the Lakers. I just can't get over that. So yeah, I think the Spurs can sneak into the 8th seed and, maybe win a game in Phoenix or against Phoenix in the first round. Probably not, but maybe. There's always hope. Now let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Because as of right now, the play-in games consist of the Cavs, the Hawks, the Hornets, and the Nets. If the season ended today and those standings, still stand, and there can be a lot of fluctuation on this Eastern Conference side. The Cavs may get into the playoffs just by winning enough games, and then I'm not sure what team would drop down. It's a tight race in the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's fucking put it that way. But let's say the season ended today, and it's the Cavs, Hawks, Hornets, Nets. Nets would play the Hornets. The Nets would play the Hornets. I just realized that. That would be a showdown. You got LaMelo Ball versus Kevin Durant. And then what's his name? What's his name? Sorry, folks, I gotta look this up. I should have had this ready, but god damn it, I need to tell you guys what his name is. I think it's not CJ Miles. Why am I blowing a blank right now on a Monday? Got the Monday Madness Foggy Dews. in my brain right now. Give me the roster. Miles Bridges. I didn't even. Fuck. Miles Bridges and Kevin Durant. I mean, I love this Charlotte Hornets team. Just stacked with youth and talent. Just signed Isaiah Thomas. Shout out Tacoma again. But let's say the Nets got to play the Hornets. That's a tough game. I don't know who's winning that. But I gotta feel that if the Nets don't win, that's a stain on Kevin Durant's career. A stain, absolutely a absolute juice stain. You can't get that out. You can't wipe that clean of your career. That's going to be with you forever. This team was slated to win the championship at the beginning of the season. I mean, if they lose, then yeah, Kevin Durant's his future's done as being the best player in the league. Which, by the way, if we think about the best player in the league, at least in my opinion, coming into this season, I thought two people, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Those are both 1A. Now I'm starting to rethink. Because how could the two best players in the NBA be basically on the edge of making the playoffs? One of them's not even going to make the playoffs. So can you consider them number one in the NBA? You're not even making the playoffs? That's a question for another day, but keep thinking about that, TBloomanites. This is a genuine concern in terms of the rankings of the best players in the NBA. Can you even be a top 5 if you're not in the playoffs? Who knows? But yes, the Nets would play the Hornets. That's a freaking. That's going to be a shootout. The Cavs and Hawks would play. I think the Hawks would end up beating the Cavs to solidify that 7th seed. And then the Cavs might be SOL and have to play a hot Hornets or a hot Nets team, and they might be the one to fall, which this is why I don't like all this playing stuff. The Cavs have fought every inch of the way this season. Every single win that they've got, they fought for it. No one put them anywhere near the playoffs at the beginning of the season. And they started off hot. And they said the drop will come. The drop will come. It never did. And they're sitting here at the 7th seed. And now they're going to get punished by having to play some offensive juggernauts just to get in the playoffs. And this is why I don't like the playing scenario. I don't like it. I really don't. But it is what it is. I can see the Hawks definitely getting that 7th seed, and the Hornets and Nets going to battle it out really for that 8th seed. Okay, yeah. We're going to move on to some live NBA stat leader reactions. What does that mean? The hell is a live NBA stat leader reaction? Well, it's me reacting live to the NBA stat leaders. Yeah, it's me reacting live to the NBA stat leaders. So we're going to go ahead and go to stats, ESPN.com. Shout out. All right, here we go. Points per game, LeBron James at 1. Number 2, Joel Embiid. 3, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I think is the number 1 player in the league. 4, Luka Doncic. And 5th, Trae Young, or tied for 4th, Trae Young, however you want to say. Nothing surprising there. I mean, LeBron James showing his greatness, putting up 30 points a game at, 37, 38 years old. It's unheard of. It's remarkable. Appreciate LeBron while you have him. Really appreciate his next 4 games because his season's coming to an end soon. Defensive leaders in rebounds. We got Rudy Gobert, no surprise there. Jokic, Domantas Sabonis, Clint Capella, Giannis Antetokounmpo, making that ooh. So Giannis is top 5 in scoring and top 5 in rebounds. That's pretty impressive. And then assists, who else but Chris motherfucking Paul, my boy. Shout out. Number 2, James Harden. Number 3, Trae Young. Trae Young in top 5 in points and top 5 in assists. Interesting, interesting. Number 4, DeJounte Murray. Shout out Tacoma again. And number 5, Luka Doncic. Also top 5 in scoring and now top 5 in assists. Luka Doncic is special, man. I wish I would have been a fan of him before he got all this much attention. Before he was good, so I can't, I'm not going to be a fan now. Then I'm just a bandwagon at that point. But moving on, blocks. Jaren Jackson Jr., number 1. Number 2, Robert Williams. Number 3, Rudy Gobert. No surprise. Number 4, Mitchell Robinson. And number 5, tied for 4th, Jacob Politi from San Antonio. I'm not going to act like I know who all those guys are. But I will say this. Shout out. 3-pointers made per game. Number 1, Stephen Curry. Number 2, Fred VanVleet. Number 3, Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, what a development in his game. I remember his rookie year, he was not much of a shooter. Almost like Dwayne Wade. Was a streaky shooter, was a good scorer. So with being a good scorer comes a streaky 3-point shot, but now he is just the man's dummy from 3-point range. I saw him pull up from half court, I think about a week ago in a game. Just drained it with the seconds down. I mean, like I said, just dummy from 3-point range. And then you got Klay Thompson, the other half of the Splash Bros. Great to see him back. Jackie Moon back in the 3-point lineup. I haven't watched much Golden State Warriors games. I'm not sure if he's just as good as he was or if he's the same or if he's worse, but I mean, shit, he's still making 3-pointers, so he must be doing something right. And then also tied for 4th, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving. Wow. What could have been if he was able to play this season or most of the season? Steals coming in at number 1. Shout out DeJounte Murray. That's the only person I would like to see over Chris Paul sitting at number 2 for the most steals in the league. Number 3, Gary Trent Jr. Also tied for 3, Matisse Thybulle from Philadelphia. I probably didn't say that right. But if you really want to know, you can look it up on your own and you can pronounce it the way you want to pronounce it. Number 5, Tyrese Haliburton from Sacramento/Indiana. Nothing too surprising there. Random thought that popped in my head. I think Joel Embiid should come away with this MVP this year. Obviously, if not him, then Jokic, but come on, just give it to the guy. You gave it to Jokic last year. They're pretty much neck and neck. Just give it to the man. Joel's a savage. I feel sorry he's got to deal with James Harden now. I'm sure he's kind of regretting ever recruiting him, but it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. To wrap it up for the first day of the TBloom Takeover, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the national championship prediction tonight. We got the Kansas Jayhawks versus the North Carolina Tar Heels, and man, this should be a good one. A little bit of background of my story this March Madness. I won't go too into detail, but pretty much I had Duke winning it all, and I did take Duke and North Carolina to go to the Final Four. Except I had Duke winning it all, and you guys all see what happened when that game happened. Duke couldn't finish it out, couldn't make free throws at the end. Went cold at the wrong time. Not even Coach K's greatest coaching could have pulled them out of the slump they went in. And in Tar Heel fashion, they took advantage and went hot within the last 2 minutes. Caleb Love. 2 words. Caleb Love. Clutch. Remarkable. Marksman. That man single-handedly wins games for the North Carolina Tar Heels all through the tournament. And it doesn't come in the first half. I mean, you look at the game against Duke, he wasn't shooting very well at all in the first half. You look at the game before that, he wasn't shooting very well at all in the first half. The guy's confidence doesn't sleep, though. He continues to put up 3-point shots. And not just, standard catch, shoot, 3-point shot that you usually see him in college basketball. No, this guy's ISOing, hitting step backs, D in his face, koofing him, and winning games for his ball team. Or his ball team. His ball club. The guy's something special. That's the guy who I think might be the MVP. That's my prediction of who's going to be the MVP of the national championship. Spoiler alert, I'm going the Tar Heels. I think they do it. They got a good team, but they're going to be going against some great athletes and also a good team as well. But I think the Tar Heels, Jesus Christ, are going to have the edge at the end of the game. Give me a Tar Heels win it 73-69. And yes, I said 69 for that exact reason, if you're wondering. If you're wondering. I said 69 for the exact reason, if you're wondering. That's how I sound. Sorry, guys. It's been a long one. It's been a wild one. To close it out, as you guys know, if you want more updates, if you want to listen more, you want to get updated on all the TBloom news, all the TBloom shenanigans, all of what TBloom's doing, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at the TBloom Talk Show. That is TheTBloom, as in Mary, TALKSHOW. And also, again, you can do the same thing on Facebook, Instagram. We're coming, okay? Only the budget for the TBloom headquarters is a little bit pinched right now, but we're working, launching this campaign to eventually boost the budget, meaning boost the production, meaning boost the amount of entertainment I am able to give you in this show. But like I said, have a solid Monday, guys. Enjoy the day. It's 8:13 a.m. right now. I got to go to work in about an hour. I'm going to edit this podcast, get it out to you guys before I go to work. I hope, have a good one. I mean, it's raining out here in Washington. I don't know if you're in Washington, but if it's not raining, have a good one. If it is raining, have a good one. God damn it, have a good day. Get out. Get out of here. TBloom Talk Show. TBloom Takeover. I'm out. Thanks for listening, folks. Today's episode was brought to you by Stank Energy Drink. Get your stank on.